They're calling you a radical, so I'm waiting for my call to come in from my whistleblower inside ODFW. I just got off the phone with my other whistleblower inside of W. They're panicked. They're in full panic mode up there. That, as Kevin Blanch predicted, this thing's a catastrophe. That 37 on the fucking entire Columbia yesterday. They should be getting 4,000 a day. They're freaking out. It's a catastrophe. So I'm going to talk about this study that's come out of Oslo on the nuclear that went across Europe in October. Now remember, people aren't talking about this. This is the second plume that went over. The first plume was detected on the day of Trump's inauguration. Now this confirms what I've hypothesized the whole time. Just like the Great Pacific Genocide, Kevin Blanch hypothesis that this was going to start to happen in 2016 and be by 2018 be fucking almost near extinction. Fukushima. Now this is important. These decisions made in Vienna at the IEA, those criminal derelicts, I hope to be there in June. So I'll be in New York soon. So this is important. So listen to me. You know, one of these, you know, and we'll talk about General Electric, we're going to talk about, so they detect radiation on the inauguration day. Now remember, this is all coming out of Kazakhstan, where the deer and the antelope, remember here in 2013, 14, when all the antelope just dropped dead, the entire population of them they found dead. You remember that? I mean, all of them just dead. They go in there, autoimmune deficiency. Here it is. Here's my whistleblower. Hello. So, this is, I'm making a video right now. So, okay, this is my whistleblower in Oregon. So, how many Chinook salmon are in the biggest, now, the Rogue River's, what's it called? The Coal River, right? Okay, Coal River Hatchery. So how many Chinook salmon are in the Rogue today, April 16th? 1. Okay. My phone ringing off the hook. I got to get this other phone, Tim. It's the hospital. Okay. Hello. 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 Speaking. Good. Oh, good. All right, thank you. That's good news. Woo, what a relief. I scheduled, they're going to do the colonoscopy, and I'm scheduled with Vincent Hansen again. They're going to run all the work, so all this month. So we'll tell Dr. Willie thank you. Woo, my blood works after the heart, everything. Since the cholesterol levels are awesome and everything, so everything's coming around. It's been a fight. So back to the MIAC. So now hear me out. This is important. Do you know about MIAC? I mean, Google MIAC. Do you know about the nuclear disaster? You know, the Santa Susana one here. It was us in the United States that covered it up. So that's where Uranium 1, I call it Uranium 1 trillion, which all roads trace to nuclearism. So listen to me, this is important. My hypothesis was this. Putin has restarted testing in Russia. He's restarted it a few years ago. He's already come out and says, hey, we got new stuff. We've got new weapons that you guys don't know what it is. So Trump's retaliated, the DOE here, and they started testing in Idaho National Lab. I go up there, what's the odds? I catch a plume coming right out of INL. People don't realize how big that story is. And then just the other day, they report they had a container blow up, a fire, and contaminated their firemen. I mean, so hear me out. So Oslo has the best detections in the world. Now why? Because Tsar Bomba, you know about Tsar Bomba. So after we dropped Hiroshima and Nagasaki, flexing our dick against the Russians, they're like, okay, fuck you, watch this. So Andrei Sakharov, who won a real Nobel Prize in Sweden, you know, Sweden's pro-nuclear, by the way. Go ask the Norwegians. So now hear me out, this is important. Stay with me on this. So in Norway, they have what they call the reindeer study. 10% of the Norwegians' freaking diet is, let's get out of this wind, try, is reindeer. So they give them a variance. In 2014, they monitored them so hardcore. In 2014, it spiked. They're like, what the hell? Well, we know, we caught on tape a militia dump blowing. I posted it in the Ukraine. American military advisors. This all ties together. Let's try to get out of this wind so you can hear me. So they're like, what the hell? What the hell? Because they've been monitoring post-Chernobyl. Chernobyl, they still have, look, the half-life, I mean, some guy posted, oh, the half-life's just a few. Fuck, the half-life's hundreds of thousands either. So they know something happened. So the Norwegians monitor like crazy. I mean, the best monitoring in the world. So they come out and says, we did a 6-month study. We don't know where the hell it's come from. So that would fit my hypothesis. That Putin is testing something we don't even know what it is. And it's leaking into the atmosphere. Now look, they use the nuclear waste. That's what uranium's all about. That's what nuclear reactors are about. Nuclear reactors are not about energy. They're about the waste. Oh, uranium comes from the ground. No. Uranium 235 comes from the ground. They enrich it. This is a freaking death sentence, this stuff. And then it releases 239. I mean, so what is being released? We don't know. It's just like Fukushima, Japan. God, this one sucks. Let's try to get out. We got another snowstorm headed this way. Well, there's nuts here. So, hear me out. My hypothesis, look, he did it right on Trump's inauguration. You can deny my work all you want. Holy cow. Get out of the wind. I'm not going to be able to get out of the wind. Let's see if I can get somewhere. South wind. This is University of General Electric. I guess it works out. We can go right in the university. These are the people that built the nuclear reactors. This is the WADA. This is the School of Art that I got kicked out of, graduated from. WADA School of Business that I graduated, taught, got blackballed. I'm literally blackballed. This is their school. I'm in the art school. This is it. This is it. So, hear me out. So, my hypothesis was that Putin flexed his dick and popped one off on the inauguration day. So, the 5th of November, you can look it up. You can look it up. The 5th of November, 2016. I'm leading the Million Mass March, which John Anthony and myself, his cousins, we started it. Okay, hear me out. I think we're out of the wind here. So, we already knew. We're like, there's been secret meetings between Putin, the Russians, in Prague. Hillary Clinton's in on it too. They're both in it. So I climbed up on the statue. I had my Russian hat on with my 2016 shirt. The Russians have occupied the White House. They will never leave. The 5th of November, 2016. We already knew. You wouldn't listen to me. I did so much of, international media. I was at the White House the night of the election. Did tons and tons of interviews. All kinds of them. All over the place. And, I'm like, the monarchy's back. Neo-feudalism. So my hypothesis is, and it has been from day one, he's done it twice. Now we know they're picking up. We know what they're picking up. We know that comes from enriched uranium. So that's how we know that it was either a nuclear reactor leak. Now if it was a nuclear reactor leaking, we would probably, Oslo would have identified that. In Kazakhstan, their experiment, uranium-1, Clinton's, freaking Trump, they're the same family. They're the same thing. Oh, look at him up on the... isn't that something? So, get a view of this guy. Wow, what a crazy world we live in. So, GE reports this week. General Electric Center. I remember Jeff Rummelt was the czar bomb, or the czar bomb, but the job czar. Don't you love that? Him and Obama were flown out of the country. Obama stood on the White House lawn and says, I want you to know what I know. The plume's coming over, no word, I will keep you posted. And they were flown out of the country, South America, Chicago Bridge and Iron, the Moxville, these are criminal looters. Governor Herbert here in Utah's in on it. Mike Lee's in on it. Energy Solutions, Idaho National Lab, and I can prove it. This is not Russia versus the United States. This is a globalist, old world order, and Alex Jones and those guys, the useful idiots. I can prove it. When a tornado hit Paducah, Kentucky, which, by the way, scumbag Perry making this sexy again, leukemia sexy again, and McConnell Turtle Boy were just there. old signs. Glenn's done great work there, part of our post-ignorance army. And Paducah got hit by a tornado a few years ago. When it got hit, it was exposed that the old Paducah waste, the waste, was being transported back and forth from Mayak, Russia. What? It was full of Russian waste? That's right, that's right, that's right. I mean, you can look it up. Oak Ridge, Tennessee, Megan Rice broke in to protest this. You know, they put her in prison, tried to kill her. That's an 85-year-old nun that was raised by Dorothy Day. And then I'm going to talk a lot about, he burned himself to death in process. He's an anti-nuclear, and he said, just by donating to these charities isn't enough when you realize this is a lifelong activist. Now, I'll be there in Prospect Park, and I'm going to do a memorial to him. You know, they're going to grandstand because it's all God, gays, gun, God. That's the hot button issues they want you on. Yeah, he did that great work, made the movie out. That was 30 years ago. But the last 30 years, he's an environmentalist. He knows about the bailout in New Jersey, the bank bailout, the status quo as, I mean, it's a loot job in New York City. They gave the nuclear cartel 706, I mean, what? Billions. 300 million a year in New York. What? Oyster Creek. I mean, it's a disaster. We're going to get one at Oyster Creek or in New York, just like this one. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. These old, tired of ward out fucking things, and this money isn't for those they're not going to fix them, clean them up. This is a loot job to rip up the nuclear cartel. Europe, they know. Austrians, they'll know. They'll say, they're looting you. The Italians know. They're looting you. They're fucking you just like we did. I mean, that's why they kneecapped one of them. So this testing, my thesis from day one has been that Putin's popping off some, I mean, the arms war never stopped. They nuked my father to death in the Nevada test site. They nuked him to death in the Nevada test site. Then I get leukemia, you know, right here, working here. I mean, the nuclear energy, I mean, you can wake up. I was given 2 months to live 6.5 years ago. So the salmon collapse is in earnest. It's the smoking gun. They go to sea for 5 years. They go to sea for 5 years. Nobody predicted this but me. They were expecting record returns this year. It's a catastrophe. Kevin Blanch, the greatest PhD in human history. The Great Pacific Genocide. ML leukemia, open heart aortic valve replacement via the nuclear energy crime syndicate. Survivor.